Okay. Welcome back to Spelunky, everybody. Now, hopefully, the audio is fine. Because, you know, wouldn't be a fiery plays if we didn't have weird audio things every like month or so. Like, goodness gracious, I don't know what it is. Like, I've had my audio where it's like pretty good, I think. But then literally last night, like for the first time last night. Not for the first time, I guess. I mean, this happened before, but like everything was fine. And then last night, for some reason, all of a sudden, I went to record with, PT and Josh. And all of a sudden, the audio was just so weird. Like, Discord was like, I didn't touch any of my Discord, like, you can set user volume. I didn't touch any of the user volume settings at all since, I mean, probably for months, right? But then all of a sudden, I do nothing differently, and now they're like blaringly loud. So I have to turn their audio down. And then, when I have to touch those settings, I gotta touch the OBS settings and make sure that all is still in a reasonable level and everything. And then it's like with Spelunky, or, with the game audio just in general. I had to readjust all those settings. And now I've been sitting here on the not the menu, but I was sitting in the game for a couple seconds before starting the recording, just making sure the audio was fine. I don't know why it does that. Because, like, I wanted to make it... Because I like to have Spelunky pretty quiet, but not quiet enough where I can focus on my thoughts. But loud enough to where I can, I can still hear things going on. And truthfully, maybe I did make it a little too quiet in the volume mixer. But you should be hearing it just fine, I think. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know why, but all of a sudden my audio settings just decided, nope, don't like this anymore. Change things up again. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know if it's the way that I like plugged in my microphone, or I don't know if it was maybe like a Windows update or something that screwed things over. I've got honestly no clue. But I don't know. Things seem to be fine at this very moment, so we won't push any of that luck, I guess. I don't know, it's just very silly. Audio is very silly. Okay. Yes. He jumped the wrong way. Oh, what a goober. That guy. But boy, I love Spelunky. It feels like it's been forever since I played Spelunky. Even though it's been, a week. Same as always. I think last time, though, wasn't it last week I recorded a little bit earlier. I recorded on Wednesdays. It's actually been a little over a week. There's been a ton of games that I played since Spelunky, so it's like... Yikes. That... I panicked with the snake. That could have been really bad. And see, how did that not explode? That's weird. Let's go up there and get the dog. I don't know, nothing too interesting's been happening, I don't think. What has been happening? I mean, I guess nothing really since we talked about the Mario movie on Kirby episode, so I guess there's some interesting leaks, rumors going about. I don't care much for rumors. I try not to look into them any. But I guess it's some interesting shenanigans seem to be afoot. Oh, I guess I can talk about this. Per MamoDXX's request, he's been waiting weeks. He sent a comment, and well, I forgot to respond. This was several weeks ago, so you know, oops. I don't know. First of all, I guess side tangent. I'm like really bad at responding to comments, and I don't know entirely why. Like I like responding to comments, even like it's fun, but it's just like. And this is like a larger issue that I have, just in general, to be honest, is I get the notification, I read the notification, and then I just don't respond. And this isn't just like, you know, talking about YouTube comments either. That was scary. This is like any sort of messages, just in general. I do this with. So if you ever notice you send me a message, I probably read it, and that I just didn't respond. Especially if you send it like at night. Like I'll read all my messages in the morning usually, when I wake up. But it's like I'm too tired to respond, so it's like I'll respond later. But then sometimes I forget. It's a shame because then I feel bad because I'm like, oops. Forgot to respond to my dear friend. But it's the same with comments as well. I like comments. I like reading them. I like responding to them. But a lot of the times when I get comments, I'm at work and you know, I read it, and then I'm like, yeah, you know, I can't respond right now. I'm working, and I'll get to it later. But then I don't. And I need to fix that. I need to stop doing that. It also doesn't help though either that YouTube does comments notifications weird, because if you get a notification, if somebody like comments on a video, it gives you the push notification. But if they comment on like another video, it will replace that push notification with the new one. It won't just give you a new notification. It like replaces it, which is very bizarre to me. But you know that doesn't help with missing comments. But I need to just. Well, I say I need to make it a habit. I also kind of. I mean, I don't want to necessarily make it like a habit, I guess. Like that's. I don't know. But it's like I should just go into the YouTube community tab or whatever and just respond to comments. But anyway, the question the burning question that MamoDXX asked was, apparently I talked about movie theaters at one point. So I like never remember like, half the things I talk about in these. But I guess I was talking about, well, I guess I mentioned that I don't particularly like movie theaters. And he simply wanted to know why. And that's a question I can answer. Although it's not necessarily, I don't think it's necessarily a very interesting answer, but I just where do I even start? It's like, at risk, I guess, of sounding like a whiny baby. I just don't like crowded places. First of all, that's like part of it. There's multiple parts. First of all, I don't like crowded places. And the idea, because I've been to movie theaters before. It's not like I'm sitting here thinking like, oh, the idea of them suck. No, I've been to them, albeit a long time ago, and they were not fun experiences to me, necessarily. But anyway, it's like I don't like crowded places. I don't like the idea of being in the dark, either with like a bunch of people. Jeez Louise, he is a jumper, isn't he? I don't like being the idea of being in crowded places with a bunch of people. I don't like watching movies in the dark either. Like, I don't know how that's enjoyable to people. I don't know. Like, I'm not saying it's like a bad thing, but I just don't get the appeal. Like, I want to be in a nice, well-lit room when I'm watching or playing something. I don't know. I don't know. Just like it hurts my eyes to watch things in the dark. That's another part of it. I really don't like it. And I guess, I don't know. Maybe it adds to the immersion or the appeal, but also that it's super loud too. It's like really loud, and again, I guess that's like, it's like what people like about it. Okay, I'm gonna kill you because you're an asshole. I don't know. I don't. I'm not a fan of that kind of vibe, I guess. Like super loud. We're in the dark with a bunch of people, and you know, I try not to like pause things and stuff, right? But it's like if I need to pause something to go to the bathroom, like you can't do that in a movie theater. It's like, what if I want snacks too? You know, it's super expensive to go to a movie theater, which like I guess you're paying if you're into those vibes, you know, that's fine. I guess you're paying for those vibes. Which is like, you know, as we established, I don't particularly like those vibes, so I don't want to pay for it. And then it's like, you get like such a limited selection of snacks. So I don't know. Is that everything? Holy cow! Okay, I almost died there. We're gonna get rid of that guy. Yeah, just not a fan of him. What are we doing? Where's the dog? Where's the dog? But to be fair, though, it's like I have not been to a movie theater in a long time, so... Oh, how did you thread that needle? I was sure he was gonna die to blow up the spikes, but I guess not. This works too, I guess. It's a little safer. To be fair, I haven't been to a movie theater in a long time. Well, the last time I went to a theater would have been... That's game over. Last time I would have been to a theater would have been, I guess Rogue One. Because I think that was the last time I ever went to a movie theater. Because I'm pretty sure I feel like I remember every time I've actually been to one. Because I know I went to one time with my grandma. That was for Cars. That's at least the first time I ever remember being in a movie theater. And I remember not being like a particular fan of it. And I still remember because I had M&Ms. I had like one of those tubes, I think of like the baby M&Ms. Or the mini M&Ms, whatever you want to call them. And when I got out of it, I realized like the entire time there'd been an M&M. Like a smushed, gross M&M like stuck to my thumb. And I was like, ew, like how did I not notice that? It's like, it was so dark. I think that was the first time. Again, at least that I remember. Then I know I went to the movie theaters one time to watch the Clone Wars movie. That was with my mom. Don't really remember anything from that time. Then I feel like there had to have been at least a couple of times, like in between then. But I just can't remember if there was. I don't remember. But the next time I ever remember going to a theater would have been... Shit. Crap. Would have been The Force Awakens. Then I watched episode 8 in theaters. Wait, did I? Yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah, well, like my whole family, I think, went to watch Force Awakens. And then I think we all went when episode 8 came out. Which I don't remember the name of it. I don't remember the... Holy cow. I don't remember what that one's called. Or the 9th one. But we watched episode 8 in theaters, and then... Really? I don't remember which came out next, but I think Rogue One... Was that the next one that came out? Or Solo? I don't even remember if I watched Solo in theaters. I think Solo came out after it, because I think I watched Rogue One, and then I think that was the last time I've ever been in a theater. We didn't go to watch episode 9. I just watched that on my own time. And I was like, wow, it's not good. Shit. Yeah, stupid. I should have just, like, baited him out or something. Anyway. I'm pretty sure there's... Okay. I went to a drive-in theater one time as well. I don't remember what we were watching. But I do recall going to one of those. And again, I don't remember anything about it. But I do remember it vaguely. And then again, I feel like, like I said, I feel like I've been at least a couple more times. I just don't remember. But yeah, I don't know. I can't really imagine myself ever going again. I mean, I guess like it's not like I would be opposed to it if I had somebody who I just really enjoyed being in the company of, and we wanted to go to, or they wanted to go to a theater, then I'd be like, yeah, sure, whatever. But I just can't imagine myself going to one again. Otherwise. Because again, really, in my opinion, I would rather just watch something on a TV, you know, able to keep the lights on, have whatever snacks I want to eat. Shit. It's bad. And be able to control the volume. You know, that's just a more cozy experience to me. So, I don't know. I don't see the appeal, but maybe if I just went with the right person or something, then it could be cool. But then you see, I don't know. I don't know. It just depends. I guess a lot of it would depend. Oh, come on. This hallway... Yeah. It's scary. Yeah, that's my iconic movie theater rant, I guess. Just not a fan. Although it does really suck having to wait for movies to come out. Because, like, oh, crap. Is that going to set off the shopkeeper? Oh, that's, like, just barely. Because, like, I hate having to wait for, like, the Sonic movies to release on streaming to watch them. It's like, yeah, it would be cool if I could, just watch this as it came out. Because it's pretty difficult to avoid spoilers. It's like the Mario Galaxy movie. It's like, I don't know what I'm going to do about that. Because it was so difficult when the Mario movie was out, and I was like trying to avoid spoilers for months before I could watch it. Like, that sucked. It's like, I guess I could just pirate it, but then it's like you always get it in like a lower quality. It's like kind of the whole point is that, you know, I want to be able to watch movies in a high quality. So, I don't know. Again, maybe if I had, like, anybody who I enjoyed the company of, like, that I could just go out with and watch a movie. But, alas... There's also, like, just the fact that I don't watch movies too much in general, I guess, is another thing. Oh, really? That was so silly. I just don't watch very many movies. So the only things that would really excite me are, like the Mario movies and the Sonic movies. It's like I guess that would be the only things that I would potentially go to a theater for. Like, it used to be Star Wars. It's like, yeah, hell yeah, I'm going to the theater to see Star Wars because, you know, it's Star Wars. But now it's like, well, I don't care. I don't really care about whatever Star Wars is doing anymore. Yeah, I haven't even watched season 3 of The Mandalorian, so it's like, I don't know what we got going on here with this new movie. I did just finish Witch on the Holy Night, like literally a couple hours ago. I finished that, and that movie's supposedly coming out this year. Supposedly. It's been in development for several years, I think, but... I would probably go to the theater to watch that movie. I really doubt that they would ever, like, have a screening of it around this area, though, to be fair. And also, again, I probably wouldn't just go of my own volition. I definitely wouldn't go with, like, my parents or anything. Like, I'm not going to send them to watch an anime movie. So it's like, I don't know. I don't really have... Like, I probably wouldn't just go on my own. And not that I'm, like, afraid to go to a place on my own. I just don't want to. I'm very curious about that movie. Because like I said, I literally just finished that visual... Shit. It didn't set him off. I for sure thought that was going to set him off. Yeah, I'm very curious about that movie, because I finished a visual novel literally hours ago, and it was like freaking peak. Like, life-alteringly good. And then it's like, oh, we're having a movie? Interesting. Like, you're gonna condense that entire 25 to 30 hour book into like a less than 2 hour time span? Like, okay. Don't know how that's gonna work, but... Shit. I don't know. You know, Type Moon, like with the Fate stuff, a lot of that's like visual novels originally, and then they condense all that down into animes and movies. like the Fate game, that got condensed down into like one route got condensed into 3 movies. Another route was condensed into like a, what was that, like a 25 something episode anime. And the other route was also technically the same, but that was like much older. Anyway, I don't know. See, the problem with adapting visual novels, or just novels in general, it's like you're gonna have a lot of issues because, you know, when you're reading a book, you know, a big issue with adapting that is you can't really adapt that prose and everything, right? So you lose like a ton. You lose a ton from adaptations of those into like movies. Or even anime. Like, at least with an anime, you can still get a good amount of time to flush things out. Like with a movie, the big issue, excuse me, I got the hiccups with those, is that, oh my goodness, you're like super condensing a ton of stuff into a short time frame. And so a lot of people have issues with those, and I can't say that I have those issues firsthand, because I have not read the actual visual novel as of yet. But I'm sure that like I'm gonna probably get that experience once I do finally read the actual novels. Holy cow, there's so many bats. Once I do. Okay. So do actually read the novels. Oh really? Frick you. I'll probably get that experience of like, wow, they really cut out a ton of stuff. Like the book was better. I don't know. That is not to say that adaptations, I don't know that they're particularly like garbage. I know people who would argue that, but you know, and that's their opinion. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I might disagree. But I don't know. Like I think there's value at least in still watching the animes and movies, even if, you know, they do cut out a ton of stuff and maybe aren't the best at like really conveying the whole plot, but you know. So anyway, with the Witch on the Holy Night movie, I think that's, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see how they do that, or if they're gonna like split it into multiple movies. If I could see it working a little bit better then, but again, it's like you're still gonna lose out on so much. But it could still be good. I think it'll be a good spectacle if nothing else. But I'm sure that even after watching the movie, I don't think there's anything that's gonna convince me that it would be a good starting place. You know, I think you should still start with the novel, the visual novel, of basically anything. I think if you have access to like a visual novel, like why not just, like why start with the anime or a movie or whatever? Like you really probably should start with that, and then once you become a fan of it, then you can check out the anime or movie. And then you can get that experience, and I don't know, I see it more as almost like a fan servicey type thing. But that's I mean, it's also like Dragon Quest, I suppose. I know Mamo watched Dragon Quest V movie before he played the game, and it's like he still enjoyed it, so you know, I don't think it's like a bad movie, but it's also like I feel like it's more of it's made to be a fan service for fans of the game. I don't know that it's necessarily like I would never recommend it as like something to experience Dragon Quest V, right? But as somebody who watched it first and did not play Dragon Quest V yet, well, I don't know if he's played it as of this recording, but you know, he enjoyed it. So I can't in good faith say that it was a bad adaptation, like that there was nothing redeeming about it. I just think that if I were to recommend Dragon Quest V to somebody, I would, you know, personally never start there. But it can work in both ways. So, you know, I think That also kind of irritates me when people always say it's like, oh yeah, it's like terrible and bad. Don't even bother with it. Because again, I think there's value in most things, even if they're not perfect. And on that note, we gotta end the video. We've been going on for half a freaking hour listening to me rant. So I will see you on the next episode of Spelunky, where I'll maybe have a new rant prepared. Actually, don't know. But see ya.